Hey guys, it's Ghosty here, and today I have a video on the Kids of America Corp Witchy Witch. But before I get into any of that stuff, I just want to say thank you all so much for 100 subscribers. And that's just absolutely mind-blowing to me. I can't believe that like 100 people want to continue to hear me ramble on about Halloween props for 15 minutes. I think that's crazy. I never really thought I'd get that many subs doing this. It's crazy. I know 100 isn't really a lot in the grand scheme of things, but for a small channel just making videos about goofy Halloween props, that's pretty crazy to me. So yeah, I really appreciate all of you. I'm trying to think of like a good video I could post as like maybe 100 subscriber special type thing, but I've not really coming up with anything too good. I'm thinking maybe like a Kids of America Corp collection video. I don't know how many people would realistically care about that though. I was also thinking about doing a full collection video across like my Halloween and Christmas stuff, but I have to find the room either inside or outside of my house somewhere to get all of that stuff set up in one area. So that's also, I don't know, I'm kind of leaning towards doing that, but it might just happen a little further off in the future than I would like it to. But yeah, I'm planning on doing something for 100 subs, but yeah, thank you all so much. Anyways, let's get into the witch. So this is the Kids of America Corp animated talking witchy witch. I've already done a video on one of the vampires and on one of the Frankenstein figures from Kids of America Corp, but I've yet to make one on any of the witches. So yeah, I figured my last video was on Frankenstein, so I might as well do the witch. So in front of you is the purple witch variant. This is the rarest of all of the Kids of America Corp witches. To my knowledge, and I could be wrong, I believe she is currently lost. I mean, I guess not anymore after this video. You'll see what I mean in a minute. But on the wiki, she's up on the wiki, the Lost Animatronics wiki, and it says lost. But I do feel like I've seen a video of her before fully working on YouTube or something like that, but yeah. Okay, so if you watch my other videos on the KOA props, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's getting repeated, but that's kind of just how it's going to be, I guess. So this prop is from 2000, or originally Witchy Witch is from 2002 and was made through 2005. There's a few different variants of this. And unlike Frankenstein and unlike Dracula, she is very different across her different variants. Frankenstein just has the compression feature, and the vampire, he has different paint and different eyes depending on which version. And then all of them, their Menards versions, have completely different looks and very different audios as well. The audio for the first versions are all the same though across all of these. So the first year of Witchy Witch was and I'll try and overlay pictures of the ones I'm talking about as it's going. But the first year of Witchy Witch, she was in black and gray and had like this like spider web collar. That's the 2002 version sold at JCPenney's. Then there's another gray version that I'm thinking is 2003, but it's slightly different than the one before cosmetically. And then there's the Menards version from 2005, which she's wearing like this orange and black dress, and she has the lines just about Candy, where once she gets set off, she says all of her lines right in a row. This one here is either from 2003 or 2004, and I'm thinking it's from 2004. That's where I lean. There's not any on her tag. It says 2002, but that's impossible. It literally cannot be 2002. I think it's basing that off the original Witchy Witch figure. So this is actually the rarest of the Witchy Witch talking characters. Like out of just the witches, this is the rarest one. You don't see this one like hardly ever. I guess that's, that's probably why it's lost. But yeah, this thing's pretty rare. I got it a couple years back on Marketplace, and I think I paid maybe $10, $5, somewhere in there. It was nothing. They said it was completely broken, but it just had battery corrosion, which that happens more often than not with people saying stuff is broken. It's like, no, the batteries are just corroded. But yeah, she is the reason why it has to be 2004 or cannot be 2002 is because the earlier Kids of America Corp figures 2002 and I don't think 2003, but possibly I think it's just the 2002 ones. They have these wiry body frames rather than the later models like this one that has a plastic body shell and plastic leg poles. And they have two pieces of foam on either side of their body shell for shoulders, rather than the wire frame, kind of mimicking like shoulder definition. But yeah, kind of a lot of variants of this thing out there too. So I'll try and get through them all quickly. Try not to forget them all either. I really need to start writing stuff down. But there is a hanging version of her, also I believe from 2000, or made only I think in 2002. And the hanging prop is currently lost. I actually own it, but it is broken. So unfortunately I can't make that a found prop. I'm going to make a video on it anyway because of the fact that it's lost. I figure why not? Just might as well get some documentation out there on it. But yeah, there's a hanging version who looks very similar to the first version, but with purple spiderwebby design, and its arms sway back and forth, and she talks. Same audio as this, by the way. But there's that hanging version. There's a latex head version of this where it's just her head, but like literally just this head in front of you, but it talks. I probably won't be able to find a picture of that to overlay. But then there's also a plush head version of this. In fact, I think there's 2 or 3 plush head versions of this. There's like a normal skin tone one, and then there's like a purple skin colored one. It's really neat. And then there's, speaking of plush, there are plush versions of this figure, just like the other ones. Whereas Frankenstein, I believe, only has 1 plush figure. Dracula, or the vampire, I think has 2. The Witchy Witch, I think has 2 or 3. There's a black one, and which I own, and then there's a purple one that I used to have, and I think there's another version of the black one. But yeah, she has a few plush figures that the others don't. There's a fiber optic tabletop version that's kind of similar to this one cosmetically, but it's plush. There's a few different tabletop versions of this that are plush. There's like a dancing one and then like a running one. Trying to think of what else there is. Oh, there is a, if you didn't know, Hug and Love is, I believe, a sister company to Kids of America Corp. They mostly just deal in plushies and things like that, but they actually have their own version of this figure in front of you. And it has the same clothes as the 2002 one, but the hair is very different. It's very, 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 very different. And then there is a life-size version of this, which is completely lost. Well, not completely. There's a little bit of footage where you can somewhat see her animate, and you can hear her audio, but you can't really make out what it's saying. But actually, most people don't know this, but she's saying I'll post a link to the video, but she's saying, you aren't afraid of a little witch like me, are you? I'm going to make a video on the life-size version soon, actually, and I'll go more into depth on this in my next video, but I believe there to be 3 life-size variants, possibly. I know that sounds completely insane, but I'll probably do that as my next video. You'll see what I mean. I believe there to be So the life-size version is a cauldron witch. She turns, stirs a cauldron, kind of like the Gemmy one or the SVI ones. And I think it's from 2006. No one knows, but I'm going to go with 2006, maybe 2005, maybe 2007, probably 6 or 7. But yeah, she has a green face and looks very similar to this. But I think there's two kind of life-size versions that are very slightly different, and then I think there's like a 3-foot version of that cauldron witch out there. I'll get more into that in my next video. I want to kind of keep this one just on, more so on the one in front of us, because I can kind of talk for hours about the Kids of America props. But yeah, so these were sold at a few different places. I think, I know, Kmart, JCPenney's, Albertsons, and then Menards. I am not positive if all of the variants were sold at Menards or if it's just those last ones that were exclusive to Menards. I know for a fact the 2002 ones weren't. I know that. And I think this one I really don't think was JCPenney's. I'm leaning towards Kmart or Albertsons on this. And again, possibly Menards. Possibly. No one really knows with this thing, and I'm no different. I just kind of, taking my best guess with this thing. But yeah, so before we get into demoing this figure, I just want to get into a little bit more about the figure mechanically. So if you know anything about these Kids of America Corp figures, then you know that they have a horrible, horrible design on them. Because of the fact that they are so old and so early on in commercial Halloween props, I think that plays a part as to why they're so just cheaply made and badly designed. So underneath the mask, they're kind of like a showbiz prop, or not prop, a showbiz animatronic. It's very odd, and they have this like stacked gear behind their head that controls like every animation at once. That's a bad enough design, but where it gets to be a horrible design is within the neck. The necks on these, they have moving necks, right? Okay, so the eyes move, the mouth moves, the eyes light up, and it turns side to side, its head. The neck mechanism is sitting within like a posable joint. So even though the necks move, they're posable. So what normally happens with these things, what normally happens with these things is that they get posed either purposely or accidentally because any bit of force, and they'll, turn their heads a bit, and they just snap like that. The necks snap, and then they will not turn anymore. And a lot of the times, one animation on this thing breaking will cause problems for the rest of it. Now, another big problem with these things, and this is, again, both of these problems, the neck and these are a problem for the Frankenstein and the Dracula figures as well, is that within the mouth, there is a relay switch. And I'm going to explain this very badly. I'm not good at explaining stuff like this, but basically that switch needs to get hit for it to go again. So if her mouth if she gets shut off while her mouth is closed, when it's like mid animation or whatever, it's not going to turn on again. Like, it will not turn on. You need to have the mouth like wide open like it is now for it to turn on, because then it won't hit that relay. I don't know why they put that in here. It's the stupidest design. I don't get it. It's because of that, these things are very difficult to work on, because you have to keep the front like part of their mask on their face while you get into their face, and their face is also the thing that holds the entire mechanism. So they're very, very tough to repair. I've opened this one up before, and I did not make much progress on it, because as you will see in a few minutes, this one does have problems. It is not perfect. I'm sure you'll notice a running theme with these props. They are not perfect. Every single one of these that I own has a problem, and I do need to learn how to work on these and get better at working on these ones, but I'm worried about breaking them or just really messing them up because of that relay. They're not a great design. So this one, it works, but the neck is somewhat broke, and it kind of turns, but also has big problems turning. And because of that, so do the eyes. And the mouth does not work at all on this thing. It does not work at all. Like, at all. I believe part of the mouth is sheared off on the inside. Thankfully, though, it's sheared off in the open position. Otherwise, that would be a very big problem. I think you can kind of manually push it back into place. I think, too, I could be wrong, but I think the eyes might even have somewhat of they might have a relay switch. I know that the 05 versions do. I'm not sure if all of them have a relay switch in the eyes as well. And I think the hanging one does as well. But, yeah, I'm trying to think if I have anything else. It's already, this video is going very long. Again, you can tell which props are my favorite. These KOA videos always seem to run on when I make them. But yeah, okay, so I'll get into demoing this thing. I'll go through all of her lines. I'll try and I'm going to switch it on to sensor and see if I can get that sensor to work. So that way we can get a full body view as we demo. Most likely, though, I'm going to have to just do the try me button on its hand and just get up close to do that. The sensors on all of these KOA props are downright horrible. They never work, and somehow too these ones are some of the better sensors. The Menards ones I think are even worse. They're really, really bad, and the plush ones by far are the worst ones. Those ones are horrible. I think the Gargoyle one might have the best one, but yeah, they're just not good. So let me pause the video for 1 second and get her switched on. Okay, so surprisingly enough, the sensor actually is working. Before I do get her demoed, if you watched my last video, Frankenstein, he did not want to turn to the left. Witchy Witch does not want to turn to the right. So, yeah, we will see.
I'm Witchy Witch. Nice to meet you. Wait, where are you going? Come back here.
Come on.
Be a dear and fetch me some Hogwarts, won't you? Want some candy? Happy Halloween, kiddies! Hocus, hocus, hullabaloo! I'm Witchy Witch, get you! Don't blame me, 'cause I'm beautiful! Witchery-do, I see you! Witchery fun, you better run! I'm Witchy Witch, nice to meet you! Wait, where are you going? Come back here! Be a dear and fetch me some Hogwarts, won't you? Hocus, hocus, hullabaloo! I'm Witchy Witch, get you! Don't blame me, 'cause I'm beautiful. Witchery-do, I see you. Witchery fun, you better run. Want some candy?
Okay, so I think that is gonna do it as far as demoing her. If you couldn't tell, I have to keep like manually resetting her head over to the right because it does not turn right. I don't really know what's going on with it. Probably because of the opposable neck thing. Maybe a gear is split. I don't know. She's just got problems. It turns to the left just fine. And even that clicking sound you hear isn't even a big deal. That's just the opposable neck thing. Definitely a very odd, very weird design. But I'm going to try and repair her, and hopefully, eventually, I'll be making a video on her where she fully works. Because as you can tell, she does not right now. It's almost there. The neck just needs to be turning to the right more, and that mouth needs to, actually function. But I think that, like I said, I think a part is sheared off, so it's going to be a little tough to get fully working. So this is already running on super, super lengthy. So I'm going to try and get up close for a moment. Actually, let me just switch this thing off, and I can.
Hocus, hocus, hullabaloo.
Okay, so not much to go over. She's got this really cool purple dress, the plastic leg pulls going up, and behind the dress there's this see here, let me set it down. Okay. There's this really bad material thing, but it's lined with wire, so you can actually try and pose the skirt more so, make it kind of flare out a bit. And then, kind of got her hair stuck in there. And then, that's kind of it, If you notice too, I didn't mention this yet, but the facial design on her, she's pretty much like the earliest version of a Heads Up Hilda because of the fact that Magic Power Corp is sister companies to Kids of America Corp. They're practically the same company. But I'll overlay a picture of Heads Up Hilda. It is very, 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 very similar to this thing in a lot of ways, especially if you look at the life-size version of this thing. It's so close to Heads Up Hilda. But I really like this version of her, the purple one. It might be my favorite. I also just like the 2002 one a lot because I remember seeing it in store. But yeah, just a cool prop nonetheless. I love these things so much. But yeah, I'm going to end this here because it is 22 minutes long as is. And this is definitely my longest video. So again, thank you guys so much. Okay, so my phone is overheating and not wanting to record anymore. But real quickly, I just wanted to say again, thank you so much for 100 subscribers. I really do appreciate it. It really does mean the world to me. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this very, very lengthy video. But yeah, thank you so much, and I will see all of you in the next video.